I was reading of the populations online, and they had California has 4,000 to 6,000 of them.
California.
And then Oregon has 6,000 mountain lions. So New York has probably 2.86 million mountain lions located in Catskill Park alone. Did you know that?
I did not.
Well, there's 2.86 million in the Catskill Park, and then there's another 6 million in the Adirondacks. Facts. All right, get it straight. You can probably look that up, John. Write that down.
Wherever you go in the Catskills, you could look down and imagine glaciers below you.
I think the weather challenges on this incident were particularly difficult.
Whereas Pansy Mountain is totally opposite. It's a mountain on top of a crater.
It's really the development of New York State. Catskills are responsible.
Yeah.
Welcome to Inside the Line, the Catskills. How's it been, buddy? It's been a while.
It has been a while. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, hell yeah. I like to have a good friend back, especially you who I've tortured and threatened with many bushwhacks.
Yes.
So, dude, Dave Chappelle was charged on stage.
Crazy. Did you see that? Did you see it?
I didn't watch it, but I just heard about it.
Yeah, and I watched it. It was crazy.
What did the guy what was the reason?
They haven't said anything like that yet. It's just the guy jumped up on stage, tackled Chappelle. Chappelle tried to chase after him, and then a whole crew of security took him in the back. And then the funny thing is when it was all over, Chris Rock came out, and he was like, "Was that Will Smith?" It was great.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh,
it was.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know that Chris Rock was even at the show. But
oh man.
Yeah, that's what a line. That was beautiful.
So, but Dave Chappelle is built, though. He is huge.
Shoot. The guy knocked him over.
Oh, wow.
They both fell.
Wow. The recent thing I've seen of Dave Chappelle, he's massive, and he's like a bulk dude. He looks like he's Mark McGuire times 2.
He's gotten very big, yes. And last special, he was wearing like green overalls. He was like a green Michael Myers. It was weird.
Put that mask on. Wow, that was crazy. That's what I heard the other day. And then just some other crap has happened and stuff like that. It's just weird. So, also, the Undertaker retired, correct?
He was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
But I thought he also retired.
He retired last year.
Last year. Okay. I remember seeing the when he was inducted, and like people were cheering for like 8 minutes, and then he said like one word and he started crying.
No, he talked for a good 30 minutes, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even I was thinking like, all right, get on with it.
Let's get some wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, let's break some hips.
Yeah. It was cool though. I watched his entire career. That was awesome.
I think so did I. Those were the days, man. Now it's really weird because like I see my friend, Jessica's friend follows one of the wrestlers, and they are absolutely horrible. She follows Orange Cassidy.
Oh, Orange Cassidy, yeah.
Does he even do anything? Does he even wrestle?
I'm not he wrestles, but yeah, his gimmick is like this laid back dude, doesn't care about anything, and he's just, I don't know, the wrestlers these days, they're really small, and I don't know, but yeah, he's weird. He's got to grow on you, I suppose. But people love him. I don't get it. I don't get modern day wrestling.
Yeah, I don't get drama. I want wrestling.
Yeah,
I mean, we had the drama back then. We had Stone Cold and The Rock always.
We had the drama, but we had the awesome wrestling too.
We did. We had
guys today. They are good wrestlers. I have to give it to them, but they're soft now.
They ain't no Wolfman X.
No, there's no WMX here.
Nice. Yes. All right. So everyone, this is episode 32, I believe. 32. John, I'm gonna hopefully I'm gonna have you on as many times as I can. I like having you a co-host and somebody else on, especially you. You're cool.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love it.
You're also a wuss. So it's a big pushover thing. So episode 32, the show just hit like over 10,000 listens, and I was like, holy crap. Happened while I was in Utah, which is what we'll be talking about tonight. So I'm sorry, John, I brought you on when I'm going to be talking the most. So sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right.
I'm still waiting to hear about this.
Yes, that's true. Actually, John took care of my children.
What better place to do it?
Yeah. John took care of my children while I was gone. And children, I meant 3 dogs. Pain in the ass, aren't they?
No, they were not this time.
This time.
No.
Yeah. Well, pain in the ass.
Hey,
But yeah. Once again, John and I just quote Jerky Boys, Dave Chappelle, man. I'm surprised I didn't say anything. He's like, rush him.
Yeah. He was frazzled. So I was expecting something like that, but he didn't do it.
Oh, but yeah. So 10,000 listens. Thank you to the listeners. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hopefully you'll enjoy this episode of me babbling on about Utah, because it was absolutely phenomenal. It was incredible. If you saw my post on Facebook and an Instagram and stuff, you'll see the pictures, and it was out of this world. I'd like to thank the monthly subscribers, Darren White, John Comiskey, Vicky Ferrero, Jim C., Michael Bogner, and now Alan Betancourt. Guys, thank you for supporting me. Really appreciate it, because it helps me keep going, because I don't know, I'm doing this for you 5 and for the listener. So I appreciate it. Actually, it's 6, 2, 4, 6. Yeah. Sorry about that. Tracy Rankin, thank you for buying me 5 coffees. Really appreciate it. That's awesome. Once again, another reason why I keep doing this is for the donations at the end of the year. We'll donate to a 501c3 in the Catskills. Most likely it'll be probably Friends of the Feathered and Fury, because they're really cool. And John's dealt with them before.
Yes, they were awesome. They came out to help an injured deer that was next door.
Yeah, they came all the way from Westkill, which is amazing.
Yep.
Unbelievable. John, do you have anything to drink tonight, my friend?
No, I had an abundance last night, and I'm just going to do water tonight.
Well, I'm having a good rum and Coke. I really haven't drank much since our last session together when we got wasted.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I was just like, no, I don't want. I didn't drink a lot of Utah. I had a margarita in Vegas, but
yeah, I don't even remember that last podcast.
That was fun. Listen to it. It was great. So John, I don't know if you've been on any previous hikes, but I know you're going on a hike this Saturday.
Yes, 8 of them.
8 of them.
Going to do the spring octet, the Otsego County Hiking Challenge, and we're going to take Ian's dog with us, so he's going to do it too. And I believe they get their own certificates and patches too. That's cool.
They do. Excellent. Make sure you donate to the Otsego Outdoors. Pretty cool stuff. And volunteer as well, John.
Yes.
Need to do some volunteering around here. Maybe volunteer with me. Oh, you did.
Yes.
You did trail maintenance with me.
Yeah, and you went and helped set up the Lord's Land Preserve, I believe.
Yeah. I helped out with that. That was fun. That was fun and funny. You gotta teach some people some new tricks and stuff like that up here in Otsego County. Marking trails is not really their strong point when they don't mark trails.
We're not the Rockies.
John, we have a lot of things to discuss. So I got some new Catskill news. This was formed a couple weeks ago, as my friend Matt Smith came up with this. He was a 3500 club member with me. He came up with the Catskill Trail Crew. So what this trail crew is a volunteer crew for the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference, and dedicated to the Catskills. They go around, repair trails, make trails so much better than they are. They've been doing some work recently. They did some work on Overlook. They're doing some work on Mary's Glen over in the North-South Lake region. And I believe they did some of Devil's Path, and they have some more coming up. So I will keep everyone updated. Check out their I think they have a website and a Facebook site. Check out their Facebook site, Catskills Trail Crew. I'm going to be volunteering when I can. They always have to do it on a Saturday, and I work on a Saturday. And then every Sunday, I'm always doing search and rescue or something like that. So I hope to get in time with them because they're great guys. Matt Smith, thank you very much. Hopefully he's listening to, I'm going to tag him in this. So hopefully check out the Trails Crew, Catskills Trails Crew, and also volunteer for them because it's fun. It's awesome. They rip it up and they have fun. They're a bunch of good people. So yeah, that's my Catskill news. So John, I'm going to do not some Catskill Mountain history, but some world history. My recent visit to Utah brought me to something that I've been wanting to see for a long time, ever since probably middle school or something, called petroglyphs. You ever heard of them, John?
I'm learning right now.
Okay, well, all right. So some history right here. Let's talk about petroglyphs. Petroglyphs up here in the Northeast are very rare, just to let you know. I tried to look this up. I tried to look a lot of stuff up about it in the Northeast. It's very, very rare because most of the stuff right now is that they were down in the valleys of the rivers and stuff like that are flooded now with dirty water or reservoirs and stuff like that. So usually in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts have some findings, and also Pennsylvania has a decent amount because they got a lot of rocks. So once again, I took this, I forgot what website, but I took this. I'm going to read this real quick. A petroglyph is an image created by removing a rock surface by incising, picking, carving, or braiding as a form of rock art. Outside North America, scholars often use terms as carving, engraving, or other description of the technique to refer to such images. Petroglyphs are found worldwide and often associated with prehistoric peoples. The word comes from Greek prefix petro, from whatever that says. John, can you interpret that, please? From the tita pa, petra, meaning stone, and Y upside down Y, U with an apostrophe, devil's horn W. Glypho, meaning carve. It was originally coined in French as a petroglyphe. Many examples of petroglyphs found globally are dated to approximately the Neolithic and late Upper Paleolithic boundary, roughly 10,000 to 12,000 years ago. Though some, such as those as the Kamaya Gomoya, were earlier than this. Some petroglyph sites in Australia were estimated to date back 20,000 years, and other examples of petroglyphs are estimated to be as old as 40,000 years. Very few have been located in the Susquehanna region, which is the region I live, and John lives, and it also winds down all the way down to Chesapeake Bay, correct?
Yes.
Yes, goes out in the Delaware region. So, and none have been found in the Delaware region. So I presume that there are basically none in the Catskills, or they haven't been found yet because of the thick vegetation. Rarely are petroglyphs found in upland settings, which is, mostly higher elevations. Don't really remember seeing any of those, any up high. Usually they're down low in the valleys. Flatland is where the Native Americans stayed as well. Two major Native Americans were the Iroquoian and the Algonquin. The Iroquoian speakers were centrally located in what is now New York State in the eastern Great Lakes. They are surrounded by Algonquin speakers in New England and in southern Pennsylvania. Petroglyph conveyed information, perhaps describing tribal boundaries, hunting grounds, or served to describe people who lived or passed through the region. Petroglyph sites were almost certainly sacred places where people came to communicate with the supernatural. Some sites may have been places where medicine men, community, or spiritual leaders went to meditate, to receive visions or guidance, to lead and heal their people. Some of the symbols may have had special significance for hunting, fishing, or solving our family travel problems. Cool stuff. So that's the reason why I brought up petroglyphs, is because when I was down in the Southwest, I heard they're all over the place. Not really all over the place, but they're well found. When we did one of the hikes, I was looking for petroglyphs, and I knew they were somewhere in the area, but I couldn't find them. On the way back, some guy was just like, "Hey, make sure you check out those petroglyphs on the wall." I'm like, "What?" And I freaking sprinted over. Coolest stuff I've ever seen. I'll have to post them on Instagram and Facebook the next day. So I gotta write that down. So So I'll post that on Instagram and Facebook, and they were really cool. One things is basically what I saw was animals. They drew animals, and then they drew people standing there and kind of like waving out and stuff like that. One of them looked like a really long-headed giraffe with horns. So I don't know what that was all about. It's pretty wicked stuff.
Sounds mythological.
Yes, and it's crazy, dude. That I sometimes I really don't believe that, because 12 to 1,000, 10 to 14,000 years, possibly even 40,000 years, how to survive all that weather and stuff like that.
It is crazy. That's actually, if you think about Niagara Falls, that's how old Niagara Falls is. So it survived everything that Niagara Falls had survived too. It's weird.
Holy crap. Good information, John. Wow. Yeah, it was really cool seeing them. If you ever get out Southwest, check out petroglyphs, because there's a place that I'm going to check out. It's going to be on the list. It's called the petroglyphs like news board. It has a whole rock carving of like 20 feet by 50 feet of all petroglyphs, and it looks like a newspaper. It's really wicked. So yeah, Catskill Mountain history. Well, world history, whatever. Yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed that. So also, John, I put this on here today, and we're going to touch up on this because it's that time of year for bushwhacking. Everybody's going to get out bushwhacking, and John knows why you get out bushwhacking right now. Why do we get out and bushwhack right now?
Oh, there's something wrong with us.
No, it's because of the nettles.
All right.
Yeah.
Worst nettles I ever saw were on the KHP. And I think that we both got hit pretty good that day with them.
Yeah, that was pretty crappy. Those good old nettles on the KHP side, the eastern side. Yeah, so we got we're gonna go over some quick bushwhacking tips, especially right now when the nettles are down, vegetation's down. It's easy to go through the bushwhacking to get up top, find your way. So, of course, first thing you want to bring is map and compass. Bring that. If you have your cell phone, that's good, but you always want to have a map and compass for backup. Definitely, it helps. Go online, look up on YouTube how to use a map and compass. There are really easy, short tutorials that show you how to easily use a map and compass, and it's very fun, and it gets very fun. Definitely a big thing. Of course, also, you're always going to bring food and water. Of course, definitely bring that. That's definitely a hot top of the list. Another thing during these crazy times is the ticks are coming out. You do not want to mess with Lyme disease. It's very horrible. I would rather deal with getting rescued and a $10,000 fine or something like that than freaking dealing with Lyme disease the rest of my life. So what I suggest is permethrin. Really cool stuff. You can spray it on your clothes, let it sit for a day or two, and then they can be washed up to 10 times. Really wicked stuff. Usually, I know you're not supposed to do this, but I spray it on every time on my pants when I go bushwhacking because I don't want to deal with ticks. Don't want Lyme disease. Screw that. Another big thing, a backup battery. Definitely have a backup battery, like a little portable chargeable battery for your devices. Usually the GPS will last, I forgot how many, the GPS system will last straight days, like 8 days straight. Wicked stuff, cool stuff. But your phone will not, especially when it gets chilly out, especially when it's being used to track you. So you take a little, I think they're like $20, and bring one of those with you. It might, weigh about 1 or 2 pounds, but it'll help save your life. John, what else can we talk about?
I'd also be prepared for weather on the bushwhacks. I've done Rusk twice, and the first time that I did it with you both times. And when we reached the summit of Rusk, we saw that huge storm in the distance.
Right.
And I remember that you had guessed that it was 35 minutes away, and I think it ended up being like 40 minutes away. But we watched that storm come in. It was almost apocalyptic the way it came in. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But I was not ready for that that day. I wasn't wearing the right things. I didn't have protection for my bag.
Yeah.
I also had the worst ankle roll ever that day as well.
Yeah.
So, prep for weather.
Yeah, definitely. Because, in the spring, could be 50 degrees at the bottom, but 30 degrees at the top, rain at the top, nice at the bottom with the clouds. Once again, good point. Also, John, what about pants?
I don't really actually see a good reason to be wearing shorts no matter what. I get hot and I sweat profusely immediately. But I'm going to tear my legs up no matter what I'm doing. So I've got into the habits of always wearing pants. I've even thought about getting gaiters.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good point.
I haven't yet.
We'll definitely have to. I've also considered that as well. I've never felt the use to need them. Like, I don't know. I remember I took you on Rusk that one time and I said we were going to do a trail, but we didn't. And we went through a sea of nettles.
The first time we did Rusk, I don't think you weren't feeling well. That was the only time I ever saw you struggle on a mountain.
Yeah.
But I think that was back when you were literally, you were like Ralph. You just knocking down mountains every day.
Yeah, that crazy guy. Yeah, but if you want to wear shorts, good luck with the nettles. If you run into them because they're not fun, you might, get into them for 5 minutes and then they'll be numb because your legs are so freaking stung by the nettles. But if you wear pants, it'll help out definitely. It'll block out those little pesky stings that they give you, and for maybe like 3 minutes and stuff. But wear pants. Also, another big thing is during this time of year is the black flies and the mosquitoes. One thing that I carry, I'm pretty sure I leave it in there because it's so lightweight. I leave it in there year round. Is a head net. Now we definitely, John and I have used them before. I think we used it on Rusk, correct?
Yes.
And then we also did we use that was Travis and I did them in North Dome and Cheryl.
Yeah, I ended up not using it as often as I'd like to because I sweat too much.
That's true.
But yeah, you definitely want to have one on you.
Yeah. Those times when the black flies come out, it's not fun. I was on North Dome one time trying to enjoy the view, and there must have been hundreds and hundreds of them, and I didn't have a head net. So I just started sprinting down the mountain, try to forget about it.
So the first time that I did Hunter, I did it with Jeff for his birthday a few years back. And the black flies at the top of Hunter the bites were so bad. We were getting nervous. I literally left that summit because of that.
Nice. You'd probably get the West Nile virus, right? Man, it's that time of year, springtime. You don't know if the bugs are going to be bad. You don't know if the trails are going to be horrible. You don't know what the weather is going to be like.
Still going to be snow, ice.
Yeah, might be ice up top. Once again, also, you might still want to. I've heard the reports are well, and it was a good 60 degrees here, close to today. So, I mean, if you can carry the spikes, carry them for safety. But I highly doubt you'll need them. But definitely, once again, map and compass, permethrin, check that out. Really good stuff. Up to 10 washes. Backup batteries, really helpful. Cheap. You can use your cell phone. So pants, definitely pants for the nettles if you're going to get out later.
Oh yeah, if we're talking nettles, you better be doing pants.
Yeah. And head nets. Head nets very cheap, very inexpensive. Helpful for the bugs. They might be a little pain in the ass. You might look goofy. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh well.
Exactly.
Honestly, not to sound like a baby, but nettles are not fun to get stung by.
Yeah.
And they burn pretty good too. So be protected. It's much easier to be prepared.
Yeah. And pants you probably already have them. So excellent. Yeah. Anything else, John, you want to throw in there?
I think we covered it.
Nice. So yeah. So bushwhacking it's the time of the year, the bushwhack. Try not to follow the herd paths because they're just so worn out right now, and they're so horrible, and they're so ridiculously placed. Try not to, but just don't get lost. Go with somebody that knows their bushwhacking skills, that knows how to bushwhack. Definitely learn from them. It's great to have a partner that knows how to bushwhack, because then you can learn from them and you'll pick it up instantly. So enjoy the bushwhacks, Catskills. You got any questions, ask me. I love bushwhacking. Bushwhacking is one of my favorite. I take John bushwhacking. He hates it profusely. I've led him on several hikes that he doesn't like, but that will be memories though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the complaining is really more or less become a part of my act on them now. I do enjoy them, but yeah, no, a lot of times it's not fun.
Yeah, I can't say agreed to that.
Right.
Not me. But all right, so let's move on to the topic of the night. My time in Utah. John helped with my dogs, and I haven't even told him the stories of Utah. I just posted it on Facebook and sent him a couple of pictures here or there. So this will be new to him too. So
pictures, it didn't even look like a real place.
Exactly. It was absolutely phenomenal. I can't exceeded the expectations beyond what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's like, thought I was watching Avatar 2.
It was, yeah, right. It felt like an alien landscape everywhere. Like just the first, we'll talk about. So I went out to Utah with my wife for 7 days. We stayed out in Orderville, which was right outside of Zion, probably a good 40 minutes right outside of Zion. And we traveled all around there. We took a flight from Newark into Vegas, and then went from Vegas and drove up to where we stayed. It's called Orderville, which is about a good 5 hours. The first day, though, I proposed the idea for Jessica to go off of the highway and go to what they call the Valley of Fire in Nevada. Wicked place that has like amazing red rock all over the place, yellow colors, just things everywhere. It's so cool.
Talking about the red rock.
I'm talking about that red rock. Yeah, and it was I want that greenback. Just the colors were phenomenal. So Jessica and I start driving, and it's seriously like I hate to say it like this, but I gotta say it. It was a dark desert highway, and the cool wind was in my hair. So yeah, you follow this paved highway, and you start coming over some little mountains, and all of a sudden there's these bright red rocks all over the place. It is the coolest thing. And then you go deep into those rocks, and then you hike on some flat ground into some colorful areas that have yellow swirls, some red swirls, and just red rocks sticking all over the place. It's not high elevation, right out of the desert. If you're ever in the Nevada area, the Las Vegas area, do it. It's like a half an hour drive, 45 minutes to the Valley of Fire. You got to pay $6 to get in, which we didn't mind doing because it was absolutely stunning to see it even from driving. We go in there, we hike about, I think it was about 1.5 miles. It was very, very busy. A lot of tourists everywhere. It was insane. And we had read at the time, it said when we left the car, it said 89 degrees. We got out, there was 40 mile per hour winds happening at the time. It was really wicked. So it made it feel like maybe 75. It was absolutely beautiful. So we went around there. I took some videos. I took some cool pictures, took some pictures of Jessica with the background and stuff. We headed out, and on our way out, we go through this town, and all of a sudden I look behind me and a cop's pulling me over.
Oh,
I'm like, oh crap. I rented a car, so I have California plates on there. He's probably like, these Californians, they're ridiculous. He comes over and he says, you're doing 45 and a 25. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
I was just like, I didn't know I couldn't do that. And he was just like, well, now you know. No, he was just
get
like,
out of here.
He was like, he goes, you're going a little bit fast. I'm like, I'm not from the area. We're just coming from the Valley of Fire. I'm sorry. He's like, it's all right. He's like, just make sure you pay attention to the signs and stuff like that. He hit about 3 signs that said 25 miles an hour. I'm like, oh, my bad. I'm like, I was excited. I'm sorry. So we leave up there. We go all the way up to Zion. We stop at a supermarket and stuff. The cool thing is we got through the Zion gates after 7 p.m., which means we didn't have to pay a park pass, but it was dark, so we couldn't see anything. So there was no, like, once you go up that Zion, that road up Zion, it's called Route 9. It's not the scenic route, but once you go up that, there's mountains everywhere, there's cliffs everywhere. It's the coolest thing when we came down the other day. We went the other day, but we didn't get to see anything. So we're going up these switchbacks that go up around 2,000 feet and I think like 3 or 4 miles. It was crazy, with no guardrails on the side and like 500-foot drops on every side. Jessica is having a panic attack because she can't see what's going on down there. So it was crazy, but it was cool. We got home, got situated in the place we stayed at called The Shed. Beautiful, easy place. And we laid down for the night. And then day 2, it was projected to rain, and it did rain. So what we did was we shopped around the famous town called Kanab. They have a sign on the outside of both ends of Kanab that says the greatest Earth on show instead of the show on Earth. Because once you go down in the valley of Kanab, they have these awesome red rock walls all over the place. It looks like the Grand Canyon, and they have places everywhere to go. It was really great. John, I got to take you out here. It's incredible.
Yeah, looked it.
Yeah.
I'd love to go.
They also have what they call the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management. It's basically like a park, a Catskill park somewhat. You can park anywhere there's a parking spot on the BLM land and do whatever you want. You can hike up to the top of that mountain that's sitting over there and camp up there. It's insane. Like there's a ledge, there's ledges everywhere because it's canyons, it's valleys, it's stuff like that. So I could just imagine being like, hey, John, let's go camp up there. And you'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. Okay. That's what he'd usually do. But so we went around Kanab, checked it out, bought some things, some local merchandise, some a Zion shirt. I got a hat. I'm wearing it right now, actually. And then we decided that it would be pretty cool to just drive around the park and then go back up that way, to go back up Route 9 and check it out. And it was incredible. Who the hell is sending me messages? Leave me alone. So we went back up there and we had to pay. The funny thing is, on the Visit Zion Facebook website, it says you don't have to pay for the next 3 days, and we had to pay. So I was pretty mad. But it was worth it. It helps out the park. $35 for 7 days, which isn't bad at all. But if you're looking to go to more than one park per year, it's a national park, get the park pass for a yearly. It's $80 instead of $35 per park. So, John, if you ever plan on doing any national parks around here, what's the closest national park?
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah, let's look that up real quick.
I'm gonna do that now.
Yeah, what's the closest? Damn. No, Niagara Falls is a state park, right? Adirondacks are state. I don't think there's any national parks in New York. Yeah, well, it says Niagara Falls is a national park. Ellis Island. So, African Burial Ground National Monument. That's weird. I've never seen it. Interesting. So, apparently, Niagara Falls is the closest national park to us.
Huh? Wow.
I didn't know it was a national park. I could see why it is, though. I've never had to pay to go in there, right?
No.
Yeah, interesting. Word. But yeah, so day 2, we went back up through that Route 9. Amazing views, even though there was a little bit of rain and some fog and some mist and stuff. Jessica went and checked out a rock shop, of course. She had to check out her witchy rocks and stuff like they always do. Got back at the house, had dinner. The next day 3, we started our actual hiking adventure. We went to what they call the Toadstool Hoodoos. Johnny, have you ever heard of a hoodoo?
I've heard of hoodoos, yes, but not toadstool hoodoos.
Okay, so the Toadstool Hoodoos was the name of the place. The hoodoos, they're the big kind of like pillars.
Right.
Yeah, so these pillars, you had to hike probably like a half a mile in, and then you got to these this little area where they had these hoodoos, and then on the top of the hoodoos were different color rocks. Almost looked like they were placed up there. And I had the thought that they were placed up there, but then when you get closer, you can see how impossible it was to do that when there's one in the absolute middle of nowhere and there's a rock that's the size of maybe like, 4 or 5 people sitting up there. I was just like, no, they can't do this. So Jessica and I went around and we walked around to where like other people were. We saw some more hoodoos. And then I was just like, ooh, look at over there. It's different, colors. Let's go explore over there. And she was like, eh. And I was just like, yeah, we're gonna do it. I was like, yeah, we're gonna go over there. This is Stosh Wrestling we're talking about. And we went over there, and there's more of these hoodoos, like 6 feet tall, with like 5 or 6 of them, almost look like Stonehenge. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, is this really like an alien thing? Like, is this aliens? Is this, old Native American stuff? And apparently the whole thing behind hoodoos is that the hoodoos are made from, of course, weathering and stuff like that, and the different layers of rock that sit on top of it disintegrate quicker. So the hoodoos stand, and then the layers of rock disintegrate, and that's why the red. I have a picture of white rock with red rock on top. It's really crazy, and just absolutely phenomenal place. Very easy to get to. We got in at probably like 9:30, and there wasn't that many people there. And then when we left at like 12, it started pouring in like Panther Mountain and freaking Giant Ledge. There was people everywhere, families, kids running around. Kid almost got hit by a car. I laughed. We all had a good time. I was just like, oh my God, like seriously, the kid ran right in front of a car and like slammed on its brakes and came within like 5-6 feet of getting hit. And I was just like, that would have been fun. I'm just like, well, God, but people all over the place. Luckily, luckily, I mean, I love dogs, but most of the people let their dogs off leash around here. So there wasn't many dogs because it's probably too hot. A lot of RVs. RVs are all over the place up there. Holy crap, dude. You should see the RVs and the camp life and stuff, or the van life and stuff. It's insane. Like I said, though, any place that you see that you can park, you can do anything. Like it's insane. And like all these, how we have the creeks here and everything's always flowing here. They have washes that are empty. So what they do down there is they take like ATVs and those like buggies and stuff, and they just drive them until they stop and stuff. And some of these places lead to awesome canyons, and they're very expensive. So like we looked it up. I looked up one short trip was like, like 2 hours was $75 or something. And then like the bigger trips are like $100 per hour. I was like, no way, screw that. I'm like, I'll hike myself. I can do it myself. Yeah. And it's like, I'm like, whatever. You guys don't even know a map and compass. It's so funny because like I see these people. I'm just like, how could I guarantee nobody ever gets lost out there because there's no trees, there's no vegetation. So you can like jump over above one of the trees up there and be like, oh, I know where that place is. I'm going to go over there. So right after that, we went down to a local canyon that was right down the street, dude. So there's this bridge, and I found out online from like some person posted it on one of the social media sites of a small canyon, very short. You have to approach it a different way because if you try to approach it from the west side, the east side, you have to jump down like a 20-foot wall. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't feel like breaking my ankles. I'm just like, I don't want to feel like, a mafia guy or something. But once you go down into the canyon, you round a corner, you have to wedge yourself in, and all of a sudden there's these crushed cars. Did I show you that, John?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. What is wrong with me? I can't believe I haven't done this stuff. So I'm going to go on I'm going to share the screen in a second. So there's these crushed cars sitting there below the actual like road. All right. Can you see that?
Yeah. The screen share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the sand dunes. So this is that local area. So you go down this nice little canyon and beautiful trail. not marked. They're never marked. And then you get to that.
Oh man, that is so cool.
Yeah, it's cars. It looks like maybe like, well, let's see, 10 cars on each side crushed below the road. And all of this is like intertwined with cable. So this had to be, I don't know if this was like planned or something, or they built the road around it or something like that, but it was really odd. Like, look at that.
Wow. I've never even seen anything like that.
Yep. And it looks like the land has eroded to it. So it's starting to cover the cars. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things of cars, and they look like old 1950s and 1960s too.
Yeah.
Yeah, look old.
It's crazy.
So too old. But yeah, this is like a little local area that very few know about. And once again, you can see that I'm in one of these pictures that I'm wearing my coat, because down in those canyons, it gets like 50 degrees. It's crazy. And this is right off of the road of the area. Like, it's right off the road where it's 85 degrees outside. It's insane. So that was our second stop of that day. After that, we went to the coral pink sand dunes, which was really wicked. Cool place. Sand dunes located at 6,300 feet in the air, located in the mountains. Awesome area. I can't believe I didn't send you these photos, man. I'm so sorry. I feel like a jerk. But sand dunes located 6,300 feet in the mountains, in the middle of the mountains. Cool stuff. ATVs were riding all over the place. People were surfing on the sands. And I was thinking about doing that until I thought, like, hey, you could fall off that and you could probably get hurt for a good permanent 6 weeks because you're old now. So I didn't want to do that. So, but really neat place. Once again, I'm gonna post pictures of these all on. I think I did on Instagram. I don't know if I did on Facebook, but wicked stuff. Got home once again for the night and settled in, because the next day was our big hike, one of the bigger hikes that I wanted to do. And it was Observation Point. I don't know if you've ever heard of Observation Point, John. Have you?
I have not. This is all new to me.
Okay. So yeah. So in Zion, of course, have you ever heard of Angel's Landing?
Yes, actually, Nikki's father wants me to go out there with him sometime to do that.
No way.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
well,
I've actually watched a lot of YouTube videos on Angel's Landing.
nice. And what do you think?
I'd love to do it.
Okay. Well, good. Like I said, we'll have to go out there sometime, and I'll guide you through these places. Nikki's father can be like, well, this guy doesn't know crap. He doesn't know anything about mountain lions.
Well, he did say that Utah was, I think, one of the most beautiful places he'd ever seen.
Correct. Dude, I got to admit, I mean, this is getting near the Canadian Rockies.
Yeah.
As in beauty.
And they had John Stockton.
I know, John Stockton and Karl Malone.
Malone, man. Mailman.
Did you know that John Stockton's stats are better than Magic Johnson's?
I wouldn't be surprised, but no, I didn't know that.
He beats him in every category except for rebounds.
Yeah, that's crazy. Stockton was awesome.
He was an elite point guard, one of the best. So the next day was Observation Point. So you hike up, luckily, one of the areas that you can hike up, which I didn't want to do because it's like 3,000 feet of elevation gain. No way. You hike up to it, but I found an area that you can hike to it, which is only has about 300 feet of elevation gain, but it's a round total of like 7.5 miles. So basically it's nice flat terrain, openness, trees here and there. Looks like there was some forest fires previously. I wasn't sure. I couldn't find anything on that, but you get there and it just shows an amazing open view of the Zion Canyon, of Zion Park. I'm showing you them right now. So I think I sent you this one.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So overview valley of Zion Park. Beautiful.
Yeah. It looks like postcards.
Yeah, exactly. And, we could see some people moving. That's Angel's Landing right there. You can see some people moving on there, and it was pretty wicked. And we were up around, I think it was like 600 feet more. And there was, of course, you can see the peaks around, had some snow up to the north.
Yep.
Which we encountered later on in our days, which is pretty funny. But this was if you ever get there, we went from the Ponderosa Ranch. The cool thing is, luckily, once again, getting early helps because we got a parking spot before these huge mud pits. Right when where we parked, going down in, there was 4-foot mud pits. And I was just like, oh, some idiot's going to get caught here. Luckily, they didn't. The smart people that drove 4-wheel drive went beyond that and they got through. But I was thinking some tourists that didn't know how to hike were going to get caught in it, but they didn't. So we got a good parking spot. We got through it. By the way, I want to mention that Jessica's a ginger, so she had to get a special hat. She got one for me too as well. I'd like to thank Vicky Ryan, who did the previous episode on the Pacific Crest Trail, for her suggestion on the Sunday afternoons, like sun hat. Awesome thing. Covers, goes over your face pretty well, and then it goes over the back of your neck, so you don't have to worry about neck burn or sunburn or face or sunburn on the face or the neck. So that was really cool, really helpful. Thank you, Vicky. Especially Jessica thanks you a lot because she's a ginger and she'll burn in seconds, especially when she's on the Catskills hikes.
Same here.
Yeah, you are pretty white.
Mm-hmm.
The white people.
We got burned when we did Blackhead.
Oh yeah, it's because it was spring.
Yep.
Yeah, it was spring and there was no vegetation, so it was that was crazy. I got some Harambe stuff on my website. So yeah, that was the observation point. You're ever out to Utah, check out Observation Point. Very awesome, pretty easy hike. It's just a little long, bring a lot of water, especially if you're going in the summer. Bring thousands of gallons because Jessica and I went through at least, what is it? I had 3, she had 2. She went through almost her full thing, and then I went through at least half of that plus the Gatorade and stuff. So bring a lot of water. Next day, day 5, we went to Red Hollow, right down the street from where we stayed at. Good 5-minute drive, and it led us to a little slot canyon where you had to wedge yourself in between everything. It was cool and great. Jessica, one of the pictures I have, Jessica looks like she's doing some Spider-Man crap. It's really cool. Just a nice little canyon. The only unfortunate thing is at the part of it where you have to stop is like a 20-foot wall that you need webbing or something like that to get around. So we didn't go any further, but it was really cool to go through. I think it was like a quarter of a mile of this. On the way out, though, I saw something that I wanted to see for a long time, and you don't get to see these in New York. It was a mountain lion print.
Oh, nice.
Yes, mountain lion print. I guarantee there's millions and millions up in here in upstate New York because everybody claims there is somehow, but they don't get any evidence, correct?
There's no mountain lions here.
You're lying, John. I know you're lying because all those thousands and thousands of trail cameras hasn't gotten one picture yet. Like what the hell? Oh, I saw prints. No, that was a little cat that you saw, a feline. but yeah, we saw a mountain lion print, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. Right around the corner was a spine of a mule deer, so that was pretty wicked. But it was like already decapitated and everything like that. We didn't have to, there wasn't anything dying. But really awesome local hike, Red Rock here and there, easy to get to. There was a lot of horse poop on the trail because apparently once again, I can't believe people pay to walk 500 feet to have somebody get them to this place. It's insane. They seriously paid hundreds of dollars to have a horse take them like 800 feet, and then they get off the horse and go in the canyon for another 800 feet, and they're done. Hundreds of dollars. Oh man, I should make a living doing this, shouldn't I?
Yes, and I say that you title this episode talking about the Red Rock.
Let's talk about Red Rock. Yeah. That was good. That was another Dave Chappelle quote, everybody. Once again, if you ever watched the Chappelle show, that was when it was what was it called? Black Bush. Yeah.
Yes.
You can sanction me with your army.
Those pictures of Jessica are incredible. I honestly, when you sent me some of them from Utah, and I didn't even know it was Jessica. I thought it was just like looked like a picture from a website or something.
Yeah, it was the coolest crap. So after that, Red Hollow, we were gonna go north up to Dixie Forest, Dixie National Forest, and do a sunrise or a sunset. We had all these intentions called the Strawberry Fields, which is just like Bryce Canyon, red, pink rock all over the place with hoodoos everywhere. We start going up and gaining an elevation. And all of a sudden we hit this massive dirt road that's huge, wider than heck, probably like 15 feet wide. And it goes on for about good 6-7 miles. And all of a sudden we see an abandoned snowmobile, and then 3 more abandoned snowmobiles, and then some snowcats just sitting on the side of the road. Do you know what snowcats are, John?
I do.
Yeah. Just big, huge, basically army tanks.
Yeah, they're like tanks.
Yeah, they're sitting on the side of the road. So I'm like, oh, this is fun. And it looks like almost like Colorado, because there's pine trees everywhere, big tall pines. And it says on the GPS, in 1 mile you have to turn left to go here. So we get ready to take the turn. We turn up, and it's just snow everywhere, mud, freaking everything. And we're just like, oh shit. I'll show you a picture on here real quick, John.
We're like sitting in mud.
Yeah, like this is like, look at the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, these pine trees, and then we get that just covered in snow and mud and stuff like that, and some crud. And so we turn around.
I didn't say mud. I said crud.
I got all this crud on my face. Once again, another movie quote. See? But yeah, so I was just like, wait, I know another way to get to it. Let's check this out. We go around there, get around. 15 minutes later, we hit another spot that says, you're going to be here. All of a sudden it starts getting muddy, and all of a sudden there's snow on the side of the mountains, or side of the houses that reach up to probably 3-4 feet high. And then we hit a road closed sign. So no sunset for us. It was really horrible.
Shouldn't that sign read road closed?
Yeah, there might have been a blasting zone. I don't know what that was. It was crazy. No sunset though. It would have been cool. We were up at 9,000 feet though. It was crazy. Gained around 2,400 feet of elevation when we drove up there. So it didn't feel like it though. Definitely didn't feel like it. Felt like an angel in the outfield sometimes. That was a horrible movie.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, day 6, we went to I don't know why it says closing of Canyon Overlook. Okay, yeah, never mind. So day 6, we go to do the famous Canyon Overlook. There's a big huge tunnel, a mile and a half of a tunnel that goes under the Rock of Zion and then exits out of the Rock of Zion. Of course, really cool made structure that they have to stop traffic when big vans and RVs are going through, and it's really annoying, but
sounds biblical.
It does.
Yeah,
Zion.
Rock of Zion. Yeah,
exactly. So do you have anything to say about Zion? What are you going to say about scriptures and stuff? What is?
No, I didn't prep any farther than that joke.
Oh, that's so sad. Come on, John. I was looking forward to that.
Me too.
But me too. So Canyon Overlook, very, very popular place, well known because it's absolutely stunning, was closed due to rockfall. And then the next day we go, and it has 3 signs saying Canyon Overlook closed, yet people are still trying to get to Canyon Overlook. God bless America.
Yeah.
Just like, my God, 3 huge signs. Basically, you know how in like stores they have like wet area, those big huge things. Yep, they had 2 of those, and then a big massive sign that was like 8 feet tall. Ridiculous. So I had a backup plan, turned around, parked at this one's place, and checked out a Clear Creek Wash. Had a couple canyon spots. Pretty neat stuff. Just walking along the river basin, stuff like that. So I'll show you a picture right there. a good 50, 60-foot walls, little canyon area. Very, very easy. There's sand here and there. Got to see another bobcat print, or a mountain lion print. Good Lord, where is that? And then we saw a decane.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, a decane.
What is that, a Yeti?
It's a mule deer. Pretty crazy, right?
Wow.
I'm gonna have to post these every day now. Thanks. But yeah, that was really odd. The funny thing is, it was so decayed it didn't smell. Like, you couldn't smell that. So, and I'm surprised that it's not totally ripped up by mountain lions or bobcats or other animals. So, but really cool area, very easy. We also went right across the street into another valley area and checked that out. And it was nothing. It was only like a couple 100 feet. And then you couldn't make it up because the canyon was so thin, full of water, that we didn't want to pursue it any further. So then we drove down the road, checked out the Zion Visitor Center, which we couldn't park in because there were so many damn people. And then the park, dude, to park in the middle of Zion in the town is $40 for the day. That sounds like New York City crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Ian's paying like 58 a day in Boston right now.
Good Lord.
It's crazy. Yep.
That's horrible. I don't want to do that crap. But we were just like, nope. So luckily Jessica was just like, let's go over, turn into here. And I was like, no, that's kind of illegal, but let's do it anyway. I already almost got arrested once. But yeah, so we turned into this area, and luckily it had parking spots, and we went on, I think it's called I don't know how you would say that, Jar. I don't know. Can you see it? The Paris Trail?
Yeah.
Paris. Paris Trail. Paris. It sounds French. I don't know what it is. But it just leads you on the side of the Virgin River, and you walk along these, 1,000-foot cliffs of the Watchman's Tower and stuff like that. It's really cool, really easy, beautiful area. A lot of people, a lot of cyclists, man. Those cyclists are mean. They're like one of them yelled, "Get out of the way." And I was just like, okay, I'm going to hit you into the river now. But cyclists were flying around there. So cool area. Once again, you're in Zion, check that out. Definitely awesome. Easy hikes, somewhat walks, I would say. More of walks, not hikes. All right, then day 7 was the big grand finale. Was the big one in my books, called Buckskin Gulch. So I don't know, John, have you ever heard of the Wave?
I have not.
You haven't heard of the Wave? Wow. Heard of Angel of Landing, not the Wave. So the Wave is like rock. I wouldn't say formations, but rock. Hold on. What would you say this is? I didn't know it was Arizona. I didn't know we were in Arizona. I'm pretty sure it was bullshit. But it's basically, that's what it looks like.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's basically like rock formations and rock colorings and layers and stuff that are washed away by the rain and washed away by of course, weathering. And right near that is also what they call the Buckskin Gulch. So this is the deepest, longest slot canyon in the world. And everybody's going to the Wave. And Jessica and I are walking right past that. Actually, the Wave's like 2 miles off of where they turned. And we go into the Buckskin Gulch. Starts out very easy hike on a wash, like just sand and dirt, and no tree coverage whatsoever. We're out in the middle of the desert. Saw another mountain lion print, which was pretty wicked. Once again. And then you start going into the slot canyon, and it is walls and walls of curves. And it's unexplainable. It really is. I think I sent you 1 or 2 pictures. I don't know of this. Did I?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, and this continues on. The slot canyon is 45 miles long. You can do it in 3-4 days. And it's just the walls will go from anywhere from like 8 feet to 200 feet. And it was just unexplainable. Jessica kept saying like her neck's going to hurt the next day just because of looking around. I mean, like we do that all the time when we're at like sites, like viewpoints and stuff like that. We're just going to look all over the place. And this had the scenery everywhere. And we had almost the whole slot canyon to ourselves when we went down into it. You don't really go down. When we hiked in, we hiked in for around, I think it was 3.5 miles, and then decided at this one place to turn around just because it was an open area where we had lunch. And like I said, at some points there are, walls that are no wider than your arm's length, but they're 200, 300 feet tall. It was absolutely insane. And this is like one of these, like these places, these are all over the place. And I wanted to explore them so bad, but you only have so much time on your vacation. I need to get a job like this and doing this. It'd be wicked. But awesome, beautiful, stunning hike. Once again, I think I'm gonna post this day by day on Facebook and Instagram so people can get the feel of what we were looking at and what we were doing. But I mean, there was only one little obstacle, which was getting over a tree stump that was wedged in between the rocks, which is absolutely insane. And
wedged in there.
Wedged. Yes. Is that like weird?
No.
Yeah.
It's wedged inside the piano.
Inside the piano. You gotta get it tuning. I don't know about this tuning. Oh man. Please, anybody, if you like the Jerky Boys, please make a comment if you know that stuff. So it's wedged inside the piano. Jumped in there and got caught in the wires. But there was debris like hanging up 50 feet in the air. So I did on one of my posts, I said, I'm like, just imagine that the water had to be that high at one point in time to reach, to stay and get stuck up there. Like, I can't even imagine that. I mean, we have, of course, the big rivers and stuff out here. So I guarantee if they were narrow like that, they would be, of course, that high. They would be high right now because our freaking Susquehanna is crazy. But the Buckskin Gulch was awesome. Ending to Utah, to southern Utah. Amazing, beautiful place that I'll never forget. Hopefully Jessica never forgets it too, because it was absolutely phenomenal time. Next day, we drove back to Vegas, and I kind of panicked. We'll just go back a couple, like 12 hours earlier. We're driving back from the Buckskin Gulch, and I get a notification on my phone saying that it's time to check in for your hotel. And I'm like, no, it isn't. That's tomorrow. Or that's Friday. I'm like, that's 2 days from now. And I started getting a little panicky. And all of a sudden I realized that I've told John, my mom, and my cousin, Steven, who I thank ever so greatly for helping us out during this, that my dates were wrong, and that I told them we'd be back Saturday, but we'll be really back Friday afternoon. So like luckily we didn't have any plans Thursday. So we stayed home, did our stuff, and then left, went down to Vegas, checked out the Vegas Strip, which is very, of course, I've been there once. It's very interesting. You ever been there, John?
I've not. Always wanted to go.
Okay, we should go.
I've never left the time zone.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you went over to Michigan. It has a different time zone, right?
No, they're still in hours. They're the last state in hours.
Oh wow.
As far this west I've been.
Oh, we have to plan something. Save you money. Grab your wife and children. Excellent. So we'll have to go out there. Yeah. So we went out into Vegas and on the Strip, and it was the NFL draft. So people everywhere with jerseys, people fighting because they didn't like each other because of their football teams. We saw a woman walking around in a thong and wearing, what are those things called? They put a pasties over their boobies.
Oh yeah.
Just absolutely not caring in the world. There's people everywhere.
A lot of college students here do that too.
Oh yeah, that's true actually. So it was kind of the same thing. But yeah, Vegas was neat. We stayed on the 34th floor of our hotel. And we were thinking about, because our flight left at 6:00 in the morning, so we had to leave. We had to wake up at 1:44 in the morning to get everything ready. 1:45, sorry, in the morning to get everything ready, and then leave go drop off the car, get shuttled to one place, get shuttled to another place, and then get on the security crap, which I hate. Sick and tired of security at the airports. It used to be so much easier, so much fun. Just walk right in and get done. Now it's just a hassle. But so we were thinking about doing an all-nighter in Vegas. Yeah, that didn't happen. I'm too old for that crap. 8 o'clock was probably good enough for me.
Yep.
I'm thinking about going to bed. All right, we're going to shut this down right now. All right, I got John Buttle on the phone. John, what do you think? So yeah, awesome trip. The one crappiest thing was the flight home was horrible.
Oh yeah, what happened there?
So in the beginning, there's some good winds, and that's what he said. Once we get further east, there's going to be worse winds. So we start getting probably like halfway, and they put on the seatbelt sign, and all of a sudden, boom, we start hitting some little turbulence, and it goes on for a little while. It calms down. Then when he says we're starting the descent into Newark, it just gets horrible. And I can usually take this stuff. I'm usually fine with it, and I'm holding on to the seat in front of me, and I'm getting ready to throw up. And Jessica's sweating. I'm sweating. The guy next to us is sleeping. I don't know how the hell he's sleeping. He's hitting his head up against the wall and stuff like that.
He's up there acting like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I was just like, he was slapping each other, and it was weird. But it's just bouncing all over the place, and I'm right when we get to land, seriously, 2 minutes before the land, I'm looking at Jessica. I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. I really am. And we flew on Spirit Airlines, which is a budget thing. It's not really the greatest, but it was fine. But they didn't have any barf bags. But luckily, I didn't throw up. And when we landed, my head was messed up. It was crazy. But that was the only crappy thing about this vacation was that turbulence. But
oh man, wow.
Yeah, it was crappy. But yeah. So that was it. Yeah, that's the end of the story.
Well, that's awesome. It looked like an incredible trip. I'd love to do it myself. What made you choose Utah?
Well, so I saw, of course, I've been seeing the Angels Landing and Observation Point and stuff. I wanted to get out west because I haven't been out west. Last time we went out west was Sedona in 2018 or 17.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and it's got some red rock. That was definitely red rock.
Yeah.
And just the viewpoints and stuff like that, easy canyon hikes, and they're wicked. So much stuff out there to do. And then I was just like, let's do it. So Jessica was agreed. So we just booked everything. And then I realized what I've done. And I was just like, oh my God, this is going to be scary.
No, that's awesome. That was a big trip. I'd love to be able to take one like that.
You will someday, John.
I'd love to go to Utah, man. And the day that you guys got back, Jack went to Denver.
Oh, wow. Is that where I got that picture from?
Yeah.
Somebody told me they were landing in Denver. Man, they didn't look so rocky to me.
At John Denver.
John Denver's full of shit. But yeah. So let's anything else, John? No,
I was just going to ask you what made you choose Utah? But
yeah, that sounds good.
Told me. Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to talk about some mountain lion stuff because, of course, there's millions up here in the upstate New York's Catskill Park area region because they see them every day. I mean, I see them jumping from tree to tree.
Yeah, there's no mountain lions in New York.
Tell that to your father-in-law.
Oh, he'll tell you the same thing.
Oh, he will? I thought he believed. Yeah. I thought he said there was.
No, he was 35 years DEC.
And he knows that. Oh yeah. He doesn't think. Okay.
Okay. He can accurately tell you that there are no mountain lions in New York.
Yeah, that everybody's just like, you're wrong, man. I saw some. And they're like, what can I see a picture? Oh no, I had my flip phone at the time. my 3 megapixel flip phone. But yeah, so I saw some prints down there. And I found out there was many as 2,000 mountain lions in Utah. mostly located at the higher elevations. Utah gets up to, I think, 12,000 feet. So we were around 6,400 feet. So they like to hang out there in the valleys, which where we were definitely in the valley between Zion and Orderville is a nice valley. They're very stealth, rarely seen because they're so stealth, and they're awesome. They're majestical creatures. Deer are mostly their prey, and we saw deer all over the place. So that was really cool. So yeah, apparently you can hunt them out there too as well. There's only like, I think 75 permits per year to hunt them, so they don't get overpopulated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was reading of the populations online, and they had California has 4,000 to 6,000 of them.
California.
And then Oregon has 6,000 mountain lions. So New York has probably 2.86 million mountain lions located in Catskill Park alone. Did you know that?
I did not.
Well, there's 2.86 million in the Catskill Park, and then there's another 6 million in the Adirondacks. Facts. All right. Get it straight. You can probably look that up, John. Write that down. But yeah, John, I would like to thank you, and I would like to thank my mother and Stephen for helping out. Definitely. I appreciate you guys. So John took care of my kids. My mom let them out once in a while, and Stephen boarded us for 2 days when we were down there for our flights, because I don't want to leave out Albany because it costs like 8 times the price.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you guys got to go out and do that. It's awesome.
Hi, Bob. That's what it sounded like. I have a call.
Yeah. Always takes the guy on the second. Always takes the guy on the scene a second. Hi, Bob.
Yeah. So that's what it sounded like, John. You seriously like, yeah. Let's see what John has to say about this. But thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate your help, and hopefully I can take you out there one time. I told Travis said he wants to go out there, but I'm just like, do you even know how to hike? Like, do you even know what that means? Like, what does hiking mean? What did you like? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know the end of the story. But yeah, I thank you guys once again. So yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to be posting these day by day on Instagram and Facebook. I'm going to have to publicly share that. So that'll make it easier. But John, thanks for joining me. I appreciate
you for having me. Always love it.
That was a little shitty for you because you didn't get any interaction. Like,
I wanted to hear about the trip anyway.
Word. Well, thank you. I appreciate you for standing by me, because it's awkward being a solo dude. It's so weird doing this solo. I don't like it at all. It's really weird. So I might have you on every time to do this stuff. So it'll be pretty fun, and we'll. I'd like to thank the monthly donors. Appreciate it. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you much. Thank you very much. You guys want to hear something special? Reach out to me, please. Anybody, actually. The donors I will take first. Everybody else second. I'd like to thank anyone and everyone who is listening. I appreciate it. 10,000 listens is huge for me. I thought it would be maybe the high ones, maybe. Like that's me listening to it. High ones is what I saw this doing. Trust me. Catskills never thought. But look me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I have a website. Subscribe on any platform. Let me know if I don't have a platform out there that you use. I have a YouTube now. Check it out if you need to. If you have any like elderly people that don't know what Spotify or Apple iTunes is, let me know. I'll hook them up. If you have a time, shoot me a review on any platform. John, thanks for joining me once again.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, always a fun time. Time to go to bed, correct?
Well, I got to watch Survivor first.
Oh, it's 8:12. Yes. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I've got a DVR. We're just going to start it.
Okay. Well, thank you, John. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. Hopefully see you soon.
All right.
All right.